Okay, how's everybody doing this evening? Of course, my name is Kent. Got a Camaro behind me with loud pipes. Channel is EOS San Diego, or actually Bitcoin Believer EOS San Diego. And of course, my name is Kent, San Diego, California. And I want to talk a little bit to begin with tonight about EOS because I listened today about with the ENF. I think it's Stephen Bison. I listened to his video this morning. But I want to talk a little bit about my feeling about the ENF right now and EOS, because I think people are overlooking one of the major benefits to EOS is not only the fact that it's the fastest blockchain in the world. It's a blockchain that has gone through the ups and downs. They've solved a lot of problems in this space, and they continue to move forward, and they continue to move forward in strong hands. So my feeling about EOS is one of the very, very valuable things about EOS isn't only owning the token, which is I think a benefit, or something that definitely will in the future be worth a lot more than it is today. I think the benefit of owning EOS is being a part of the community. Being a part of this community that has taken so many years to build up. So if you're a member of this community, you have an opportunity to get involved with blockchain technology, which I think is world technology that will be the future technology for transactions, for smart contracts, for about anything you can envision that we've talked about for the last 3 or 4 years, 5 years on this channel, about what you can do on a smart contract platform. So if you get involved with this community at this time, at this base level, and you get involved by building a project, and you get grant funding through Pomelo, and I'll put the link for Pomelo below. If you get these kind of things, how valuable is that, especially in this, information age? Not only Pomelo, but you're going to get, you're going to get a lot of information from the ENF calls, the Wednesday calls on Discord. Not only that, there's the Eden community. So if you have a project and you want to fund your project through Eden, you can get involved with the groups. The groups talk to each other, and they come up with, you can pitch your idea to the 3 other members in the group. And if everybody agrees and you move to the next level, guess what? You get some funding out of that, and that helps benefit your project. So if you want to build a project in today's technology, which is Bitcoin, EOS, blockchain technology, and you want to do it with the group that is, in my mind, one of the best groups in the whole cryptocurrency space to be involved with, here's an opportunity that just can't be equaled, which is EOS. The EOS community is second to none, in my opinion. Maybe Ethereum, but second to none, in my opinion. And if you want to be involved, there's lots and lots of avenues to take. Like I said, Pomelo, Eden, and then just being a part of the community and part of the calls and learning what you can learn about this, as well as the enormous amount of information that's online. The ENF has done an amazing job as far as putting tools out there for developers to use. So if you're a young person and you're looking for something to do and you just don't know quite where you fit in this economy, in this world, man, why not get involved with EOS and the community that they've brought forth over 4, 5, 6 years, 5 years at least, 5 years of almost, under the gun, constantly trying to make it better, struggling every day to keep the price up, struggling every day to make the thing grow, keeping people on the chain, keeping people active in the community. That's been something that's been a lot of work and it's taken a lot of time to do. And you could just jump into that right now, and this would be the perfect time. You wouldn't have to go through all the pain we've gone through for the last few years. And you can get to it right now and jump aboard and get all that information, all that benefit from all the people that came before you. So anyway, that's EOS. Now I want to talk a little bit about Bitcoin, because I think Bitcoin has got some real possibilities right now. Everybody's talking about banking crisis. Going to be a banking crisis. I think that's down the road. I'm not so worried about that right now. But what I'm thinking as far as Bitcoin's concerned is Bitcoin really, you got to think about Bitcoin as a resource. It's actually, it's more than a digital currency. It's a resource, and it's a resource that there was work, energy put into to create. So how Bitcoin gets created is you have to mine Bitcoin, and the way you mine Bitcoin is you mine Bitcoin. How you doing? You mine Bitcoin you have to use computer power. So computer power is energy. It's electricity. So electricity to solve a problem, you have to use computing power to solve a problem, which is resource, and those resources are all combined within one Bitcoin. So all the work, all the resources, all the power, all the energy, all the time, all the hardware, everything that you use to build, that you have to build up in order to mine a Bitcoin, is all part of that Bitcoin price and that one Bitcoin, all the work that's involved. So that's a resource. That's like going out and mining. That's why they call it mining. It's like going out and mining a mineral out of the ground. It's like mining gold, mining silver, pumping oil out of the ground. It's like, that's what Bitcoin is. And when you really think about history, and of course, if I could do it all over again, I would have probably been a history major in school, not a business or other stuff I studied. I think I'd have studied history because I love history. And history tells us so much about what's going on in today's world. If you just look at, there's nothing new under the sun. It's all been done before. And if you look back in WW2, World War II, Nazi Germany was looking for resources. They were looking for energy to keep their war effort going. So what did Hitler do? He went to Russia. So he sees Russia over there with the Crimea, with all the oil fields. So he marches into the Crimea to get the oil because he needs the resources. He's looking for resources to fuel his idea of taking over Europe. He wants to take over Europe. So the way he's going to do that is going to march into Russia, take the oil, use that oil, and he's going to use that oil to fuel his war machine, his panzer units and all the other tanks and machine guns and all the other stuff that he has. He's going to use that oil against the rest of Europe. And the fact that Stalin couldn't see that and didn't react to him quicker is probably the fact that I would say was not very good on Stalin's part. He really wasn't very much of a strategist if he couldn't see Hitler even though Hitler had signed peace agreements that he was not going to go into Germany was not going to go into Russia. I think that was pretty obvious from the get-go, from the very start. Hitler was just buying time to build his armies up to get into Europe, but he was going after the Crimean oil. Instead, they have three army groups are going in. It's called Operation Barbarossa, and they're going into Russia. And they one goes to Stalingrad, one goes to Russia or to Moscow, and the other one goes down to the Crimea. If they would have focused more on the Crimea, they might have won that war if they'd gotten down there and got the resources. But they didn't. They got spread out over the whole Eastern Front, and of course that was Hitler's undoing. And of course the weather got bad, and we know the rest. The army went kaput pretty badly. So, and I think I don't know how many, was there a few hundred, I don't remember how many hundreds of thousands of soldiers they had. I think just a few thousand made it back to Germany 10 years later. Now here we have today, we have a replay of that. We have Putin, who's up in Russia. And what's he do? He invades the Ukraine. Why does he invade the Ukraine? Because he's after Ukraine resources. He's after the agricultural land of Ukraine. He's after Ukraine oil. He's after Ukraine manufacturing. He wants Ukraine's resources. So he's going after those things, and he's using, an ugly way of war to do it. A conventional way of war. He's using tanks and, the guns and, basically a World War II kind of strategy to try to take Ukraine back. But it all comes down to resources. And like I say, Bitcoin is a resource. Bitcoin is energy, stored energy up in one Bitcoin. The mining and all the energy and the hardware and everything like that, technology is in a Bitcoin. So a Bitcoin's a very valuable thing. It's a resource, just like, Putin trying to go into the Ukraine, and just like Hitler going into Russia. They're all going after resources, and that's what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is a resource. That's why I've always loved Bitcoin, and that's why I like Bitcoin, because you got kind of like something going on. You got people that are doing transactions. You got people that they're hosting the transaction, but they're exclusive to each other. So if I'm mining Bitcoin and somebody else is over here buying or selling a Bitcoin or purchasing something with the Bitcoin, I don't care what they're purchasing. I don't care what they're doing with that transaction. All I care about is mining the next coin. So that makes the system not corruptible. I'm not involved with it. I don't have a stake in the transaction, so I'm not going to game the system. I'm just interested in mining Bitcoin, and of course I have to spend a lot of energy, money, time, and resources, hardware to get that one Bitcoin in my hands, so that somebody might in the future, I get paid for that one Bitcoin when they mine it or when the transaction happens, but sometime during the future somebody else can buy it and they will pay more for it, because it's scarce, it's a resource, it's energy, and it's everything stored up within that Bitcoin, and it's able to be transferable, transactionable around the world with a very immutable, a system that is non-corruptible. I mean, you can't corrupt it, because basically it's like having a QuickBooks on computers around the world that are keeping track of everything. And if one computer goes away, then there's 1,000 other computers that got the same QuickBooks on it that can tell you the same thing. And as long as that all stays in order, then how do you game it? It's like you can't do it. It's incorruptible. So this is the thing that's really good about Bitcoin. And this is why I think Bitcoin is a real play right now, and I think it's going to be a play in the future. A lot of people are going to be looking for something like Bitcoin in order to escape all this this fraud and deceit that we have going on with currencies, and the fact that we just have certain people that are the closer you get to the manufacturing of the money, the more money you make. So the closer you get to the feds, the closer you get to the to the people that are printing the money, the more money you make, the more money you get. So that, unlike that, in Bitcoin you have to actually go out and earn it through creating a system to mine Bitcoin. So that's why I think Bitcoin's a very valuable resource right now, and I think it's going to be more valuable in the future. And that's why I like it, and that's why I'll continue to try and persuade people to buy it. And hopefully people accumulate at least one Bitcoin in their lifetime. I think that's a pretty safe way to go. And of course, Bitcoin right now is going up. It's $30,000, and not too long ago it was about 14, 15,000. I think it was dipped down to 14, a little over 14 not too long ago. But yeah, it's a great deal. And I think right now you're going to see more and more, especially if we have any more bank crises. So anyway, buy a Bitcoin and set on it and see what happens. I appreciate you watching. Thank you.